Hi, welcome to my guitar tutorial, D minor blues. This is exploring the Ted Greene V system. I'm doing chord voicings and improvising with fourth intervals. So I don't have a lot of things written down for this. I'll include a screenshot of the Tim Lerch video that I watched a couple weeks ago where he talked about this V system. Quite frankly, I've looked at some of Ted Greene's stuff. I've never heard of the term V system. So what I'm doing today, I used in Ted's system, I used V10, V2, and then V4. So I'll talk about that a little bit. So I'll include that screenshot, and then I'll talk a little bit about what I came up with here. So one day I was just trying to learn these things, and I wrote out a bunch of different inversions for some of the other ones that I'll probably do at a later date. But then I started messing around with this V10. So it's like D, A, C, F. And I thought, well, that kind of looks like the blues box. And I just started moving this around, G, D. So it's root fifth, flat seven, flat third. So I just started moving that around. I thought, well, I'll just do a blues, a blues. And then I just took my finger. I thought, well, that sounds kind of cool. And then I just started working out, well, where else can I play these slides? So I have here from CF to DG. So that's one place you can slide. And then this GC and AD. So that was kind of the first idea. Right, so you can do either slides or hammer-ons and things like that. So then I just applied it to the other chords of the G minor, from 6th to 8th fret, and then from 1st to 3rd fret, and then back to here. And then for the A minor, A, E, G, C. So sliding here at 8 to 10, and then right. So that was the first, the first kind of example using the V10. And then I had a couple. I'll just talk briefly about the turnaround chords. I just came up with sort of two ideas. So the one idea was open A, G, C sharp, F, B flat. Okay, so that's kind of a A7th chord, sharp 5, flat 9. Good chord to use for a minor blues. And then I also use this chord, open A, C sharp, G, C, F, another one. So that's just sharp 5 on top, and then sharp, flatted sharp 5 and sharp 9. Okay, so that was kind of the first thing that I did was just with the V10. Okay, and then the second one I did, this is called V2. So this would just be like D, A, C, F. Okay, so you can look on that screenshot for the different voicings. So then after I did the fourth intervals here, I thought, well, can I do a similar thing in other places? So I have this inversion. So C, F to DG, fourth intervals, and then AD to GC. So that was kind of the template for that voicing. Right, you hear Hendrix does stuff like that in Remember. He'll do stuff like that. Okay, okay, and then I went to the G minor chord, and then the same voicing, D, G, F, B flat. That's the V2. Yeah, right. Okay, so F, B flat, GC, and then D, G, C, F. So yeah. Okay, and then for the 5 chord for the A minor 7th, A, E, G, C. So I have a G, C, up 2 frets, A, D, and then here D, E, A, D, G. So that's one for the A. Okay, and then I just turned it whatever. I only used 2 different turnaround chords. Okay, and then the next example I did was, I think he calls this one V4. So D, C, F, A. And then what I did in my opening playing example, sometimes I went ahead and arpeggiated that to make sure that you knew what that was. So here, you have those same fourth intervals here. But what I did instead is I said, well, let's go to the next 2 strings. So G, C, A, D. And then up to here, C, F, and then G. So you notice what that is. That's kind of the middle part of the box. So I'm at this chord voicing, and then I'm using these two slides, and then here in the middle, and then I went up to here sometimes, and then up to, yeah, most of the times sometimes I went up there also. Okay, then for the G minor, same idea, D, B flat, G, C. Okay, and then I came in the middle here, D, G, C, F, F, B flat, G, C. So I don't think I necessarily went up to there all the time. So then you can do like hammer-on. Okay. Okay, that was for the G1, and then for the A, E, G, C. So here's G, C, A, D, and then I went to here, D, G, E, A, and then I went up to here, G, C, A, D. Okay. So that was the third example. And then the fourth example, this was something I just actually discovered, I guess, last night. So I went back to this V, what Ted calls the V10 AD. So the power chord, when I looked at these, these chords that Tim Lerch was talking about, I thought, well, that's kind of cool. So it's almost like you're the rhythm player. Right, that's kind of how I think of rhythm, lead. Okay, that's how I thought of it. So then what I came up with here was just a nice chromatic walk down. So once again, that's a little bit unusual, so it would just have to be used tastefully, but I think it works really well if it's used in combination with something else. Right, and then what I decided to do here was either do like a blues cliche. Okay, and then the other thing I thought about later, which seemed so obvious, was to just play those fourth intervals right in the middle of the blues box. So G, C, A, D, G, C, G, F, D, G. So chromatic. Right, just those fourth intervals, and then I think some of the time I just did that blues slide, which I'm really fond of. Okay, so then for the G chord, G, D, power chord, there's your flat third and flatted seventh, and then chromatic. Right, so those, how you play those chromatics is going to be totally up to you. Or float them, okay? And then, so either play blues cliche, or you can play these fourth intervals in the middle of the blues box. C, F, D, G, F, B flat, G, C. Right, a lot of rock songs that have that. Okay, and then for the A, E, G, C, that's back to, once again, the V10 system, voicing, chromatic, and then these fourth intervals, D, G, E, A, G, C, A, D, and then, all right, so I think that was my fourth example. Okay, so that's pretty much all I have for today. Look in the description below for the V system, so you can look at all the different voicings. So I'm planning on doing something a little bit more, geeky and involved with some of the other voicings. I've started to write out some of the inversions, as Tim does in his video. I would highly recommend looking at that video, to check out what he's doing. So this was just an idea I thought about with the with this blues. Okay, I think that's about all I really did with this. So I think what I'll do to end off, I'll play through this. I'll just kind of improvise around these concepts. Maybe play like 2 times through, and then 2 times through, and then I'll be it for my ending improvisation. Okay, thanks for. Oh yeah, and also I'll in a day or so I'll publish this jam track. The jam track this is my first jam track that has my Fender Jazz bass. I decided to invest in a Fender Jazz bass. So, and I also have a new YouTube channel. So the jam track that goes along with this has the Fender jazz bass. Okay, ending improvisation. Thanks for listening and watching.